Hey everyone, my name is Dark and Slash and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z What If. Today we are gonna do What If Vegeta had killed Frieza. Now first off, as always, we need to look at why this would have happened, of course. Well, you know, this kind of did puzzle me for a bit because I couldn't really think of any reason of how Vegeta could have ever really beaten Frieza, except for the very small chance that Vegeta, of course, gone Super Saiyan, as you might have realised. And then, of course, you know, he would have probably erupted in rage because he was being tortured by Frieza, and of course his race and his pride, and of course it would just make him go Super Saiyan. But of course it is still a very small possibility, and Vegeta would have had to do it before Goku would have arrived. Otherwise Vegeta would have not nearly had enough energy, as by the time Goku got there, Frieza had already basically battered him to the ground and was about to kill him. And then, of course, like I said, as the reason for loss, it would have been to do with how Frieza blew up everything that he had. His whole family was destroyed by Frieza. Everything he knows, except for him, Goku, Tarbell, who I don't think he knows is still alive. And then, of course, there were the other Saiyans, but they kind of died. But still, yeah, Vegeta as a Super Saiyan could have also been a bad thing as well, as he probably would have killed Gohan, Krillin, and Piccolo after he, of course, dealt with Frieza. And of course he wouldn't have let Frieza transform because, well, he's not as forgiving as Goku for that. But my guess is he would have probably left Dende alive because he would have probably had some kind of plan, as he did earlier on, to give himself multiple Zenkai boosts so that he'd have enough power to beat Goku. But of course, before he could get there, because Goku could basically get there eternally fast, he realised that Vegeta had already beaten Frieza, so he would arrive there, even though he might not be fully healed, but I bet he probably would be. So we're going to just say for the video that Goku was fully healed, he got out of his tank just before Vegeta could get any Zenkai boosts in. And then, of course, if Goku would have arrived, he would have had a giant battle with Vegeta, and it would have basically, it could have gone either two ways. It could have been that he killed Vegeta, or he dangerously maimed him, because of, there is no denying that Goku would have as well gone Super Saiyan, because his friends were dead, and his son, and, you know. But, so then basically that would mean that the story, well, Vegeta was dead, would have kind of gone like this. Of course, because Vegeta had got his Super Saiyan, he got the pride of being a Super Saiyan that he would have lost from Goku earlier on, then he would have lost it to Goku once more when Goku turned Super Saiyan and defeated him, because he would have been defeated once again. You know, similarly to the way that, of course, Frieza was stronger than him, but then, of course, when he started to become stronger, and then, of course, he went to Earth with Nappa, and, of course, he lost his pride to Goku in the Saiyan Saga. Then, of course, Goku, as for Goku, he would go back to Earth, and everything would basically continue as it was, except for Vegeta would be a bit stronger. Or if Vegeta would have been alive, then he would have gone back to Earth, or he would have stayed in space. Of course, if he was killed, he would have been in the other world. And then, of course, but we're going to say that Goku wouldn't have killed him because of still Goku's trying to aim for that perfect rivalry to be his friend, but being a rival of him, of course. And then, of course, he would train until he felt Frieza's energy back on Earth. Well, whether he was on Earth or in space, but anyway, he would sense Frieza's energy along with King Cold when Frieza was brought back as Mecha Frieza, but of course Vegeta would come back and easily kill both King Cold and Frieza, and then go after Goku, because he believed that he'd be able to kill him. I'm not gonna lie, after you train in space, of course, training at like the 10 times gravity of his own planet, I'm sure other planets have that kind of gravity, so of course he would try and find them and train on them. Of course, there would be no Trunks as well, as Vegeta would have probably never had sex with Bulma, though it's a possibility, but I doubt that Vegeta would have turned good because he would have already been Super Saiyan. Now, you could argue that he might have turned good, but I'll have to leave that for maybe like another video or something. But well, if he did turn good, then it would basically just turn out on my previous video on what if Cooler had gone to Namek instead of Frieza. It would have basically turned out like that video, or similar to that video. But of course, if Vegeta would have gone after Goku, that meant that there would have been no one to guard the Earth, because everyone was dead, unless, of course, Piccolo kills Vegeta, and then, of course, would go back in time when Goku died, and it would be, of course, also similar to my other video that I made. But of course, if no one could stop him, then Vegeta would, of course, blow up the Earth, and Goku was suffering from the heart virus, and selling the androids at the same time. This also means that the main timeline would have had the same problem, and would have been destroyed, and got rid of. In fact, the only way that we consider the Earth was not blown up, is if Goku were to not catch the heart virus, which is, I know it kind of seems a bit inevitable, but, you know, it would have, you know, there's a small chance, okay, just give me the small chance, but we're going with that fact. So anyway, because Vegeta was significantly stronger than he was in the original, like, manga and anime, it means that Goku would have probably trained harder, and of course he would have trained harder because he wouldn't have the heart virus, and he would have easily probably got Vegeta over to the good side, or killed him. But it really hardly matters, because in the end, Goku would have killed the androids, and Cell, he would have been able to do it way, like, tenfold without Vegeta, because he would have been significantly stronger. Then, of course, my guess is that Goten, he would have took Goten with him to King Kai's, as Goten would be basically, like, the next heir to, like, the Saiyans, I guess you could say. But anyway, he would have trained with him, well, this would be, like, time-wise, it would be about maybe at the start to the end, to the middle of the Cell Saga, and of course that would be the end of this version of the Cell Saga though. And then of course he would have trained him for, well, from then on to like the start of the World Tournament, and then of course after that time, well, like getting up to the World Tournament, Goku and Goten would have been similar power levels to Goku in the original Buu Saga, except they probably would have been a bit stronger, as they had them few years head start, as I previously mentioned, as it would have took place, like I say, from early, well, might have even took place in the Android Saga. Depends really how quickly it took Goku to either turn Vegeta good or like kill him. But I reckon that he would have killed him. In this sense, we're just going to say that he killed him, because I'm pretty sure the Vegeta would have just been unable to turn good, and Goku would have just gave up. But of course, because they were significantly stronger, it means that even if Buu was revived, say, I don't know, something happened and Buu got revived, I don't know, Gohan started training for some reason and all of a sudden his energy got taken away and Buu was revived. Let's just say that happens. Then of course Goku and Goten would easily beat him. Easily. If they're stronger than the original Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku could hold his own and, you know, put up a fairly good fight. But of course, because there's both of them and they've had a longer time, you know, it'd be the end of the Buu arc right there. And then of course we're going to move on to Battle of Gods as always, because I like to discuss that, but as you know, it probably wouldn't have gone very well, of course, because Vegeta was dead, as I previously mentioned, that's the route we're going. They would have only had, well, Goku, Goten, Pan and Gohan, which as you know, was only 4 Saiyans, and they need 6, 5 and then Goku being the main. But my guess is they would have asked Shenron, because Shenron didn't really get a wish, he just was responding to their question because that's what he wanted to do, because Beerus was there and he was getting really nervous. But they would have asked him to revive the 2 strongest dead Saiyans and revive them as good, not evil. Of course, as you know, because I really, I use every single source, I don't just use non-canon stuff. Well, I do use non-canon stuff, but I don't just use it, I use everything basically. That means they would have brought back Vegeta and Super Saiyan Bardock after he'd done his training, and Planet Plant, the previous Planet Plant, as you can see in the episode of Bardock. If you haven't watched that, I totally recommend you should watch that, it's a really good movie, but still. Of course, it would create the Super Saiyan God of similar power level, but of course, once again, it would be give or take. It might be a bit weaker, it might be a bit stronger, as they would not have Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta's power, because it'd only be a stronger Super Saiyan. You'd have Bardock who'd fill in for Goten would have, of course, filled in for Gohan, and then, of course, you know, it wouldn't have really made much of a difference to the power level on the guy, and either way, if you really look back at it, it wouldn't be that much weaker, it wouldn't be that much stronger, so it basically no difference in the battle. Beerus would still probably end up going at a maximum 90%, but still, I think that's a bit of a push, bearing in mind, Beerus only went like 70% against, very, very maximum against the Goku that we know. But still, you know, it makes it really good, you know, this ending's fairly good for, of course, Dragon Ball Z Saga, because it means that Gohan ends up becoming the guy that he was supposed to be, a nerd. Goten ends up becoming the fighter instead of Goten's kind of taking the role, because Goten and Trunks aren't really the strongest, but when they fuse, of course, they can become Super Saiyan 3, which I think was a bit cheap, but I guess they had to make it because they needed someone else that equal Goku's power level, so it wasn't just, of course, what Dragon Ball GT or Dragon Ball Goku time turned out to be. And of course, also it means that Barlock was revived, and I don't know, I really like Barlock's character. I mean, I don't know if you guys do, but I feel like he would have made like a great impact, and you know, he would have just been a great guy, and maybe someone for Goku to train with, you know, and good sparring partner, and eventually, hell, he could have been one of the strongest Saiyans. This has been my theory on what would have happened if Vegeta had killed Frieza back on Namek. Feel free to like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe so you can know when my new videos come out. Now, of course, as well, I just want to make a shout out to one of my, my YouTube partner, Emperor Arietem. You should totally go watch his videos, they are totally amazing. And of course, I shall see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.